Turkey is now headed into round two of the high-stake presidential elections after the first round ended inconclusively. Incumbent President Recep Tayyip Erdogan missed the required 50% mark by a whisker. His main rival, Kemal Kilicdaroglu, came in second with 44% of the votes. Many pre-poll surveys expected Kemal to dethrone Erdogan after 20 years. But when that didn't happen, reports started floating around of electoral malpractice by Erdogan and his party. Turkiye's main opposition party has filed complaints over suspected irregularities in the counting of votes in Sunday's landmark elections. Kemal's CHP party says irregularities at each ballot box range from one single wrongly counted vote to hundreds of such votes.
2269 sandıkta Cumhurbaşkanlığı için 2269 sandık sonuç tutanağında farklılık tespit ettik. 2269. Tabii 4 adayın da lehine aleyhine olabilir. Ayrıca bizim adayımız, Millet İttifakı'nın adayı Sayın Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu aleyhine olanları da ayrıca tabii ki tespit ediyoruz. Bunların hepsinin itirazları pazartesi 17 itibariyle yapıldı.
The facts remain, however, that this represents a very tiny proportion of the votes that polled and are likely or unlikely to alter the final results. While it is true that Erdogan has engaged in suppressing the free press, has jailed journalists and his opposition, and even tweaked some electoral laws, some say jumping to the conclusion that he rigged the polls seems far-fetched at best. Why then would the polls go into the runoff stage at all? All eyes are on May 28th for that runoff. Okay, for more on this, we are being joined by Mehmet Çelik from Istanbul. Mehmet is a journalist and political analyst. Welcome to WION. Thank you for your time. So, accusations of irregularities, often coming from the opposition party, whether in Turkey or anywhere else. Can you talk about this for us and why this is so suspect?
Actually, this is just part of, many other elections that have happened in the previous years. Irregularities or appeals or rejections, these happen. However, at the end of the day, this irregularities or how they are described as irregularities, they don't necessarily affect the results because they get corrected, and the margins of this irregularities is so small that it doesn't actually change the end results. Because if you look at the end result, the vote difference between President Erdogan and Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu, it's nearly 3 million votes. Even if, now that, as the CHP official said, not all these votes are for Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu, not all irregularities or claims of irregularities are in favor. The results will be, when the disputes are solved, the results will be in favor of Mr. Kılıçdaroğlu. So these are part of the actual democratic tradition and democratic process within Turkey that has been carried out for many decades. Elections are held free and fair, and after the elections, there is appeals and rejections or disputes which are actually taken through a judicial process and they are solved. So this is something that takes place in every election. If it requires a rerun, there's also that possibility as well. In this could be a local or this could be a general rerun of the election, as it happened in municipal elections in Istanbul in 2019. But there is an independent supreme election body that decides all these and deals with all these disputes. So, there is that skepticism. I think some of the claims that previously you made with regards to, freedom of speech or freedom of press and irregularities, they do take place. However, they are such a small margin that Turkey's election process is hailed by many international observers that it is a free and fair election, and there's a huge participation rate, that even with the irregularities, it doesn't affect the end result because they're in such a small percentage of the overall vote.
Yeah, very interesting. And we'll be watching these elections very closely in Turkey. Thank you so much for your time on WION. I look forward to speaking to you again very soon.